guys, so today I will summarize the webinar about Dr. Tina, who is a guest lecturer from Germany. Currently, Dr. Tina teaches about megatrends and management. In megatrends, she teaches how globalization influences socioeconomic, political, technology, and so on. She also teaches human resource management and provides guidance in making papers with qualitative methods. Okay, so she is a person who likes living abroad, likes learning different cultures. That's one of the reasons she went to Asia. As we know, if someone moves to another country, they certainly experience cultural differences. Dr. Tina had experienced culture shock while living in Indonesia. Initially, she was used to public transportation or walking, but after being at Ubaya, she found it difficult to use public transportation. Yeah, this is quite natural for Dr. Tina, who grew up in Berlin, where there's a lot of public transportation there. In terms of food, previously she was used to eat potatoes in her area, not with pasta and rice. But at Ubaya, she has to get used to rice all the time. Dr. Tina is a vegetarian, so she feels quite challenged by Indonesian dishes. In addition, in terms of learning, Dr. Tina feels that at Ubaya, it is difficult for people to speak up. Unlike in the country where she studied, she was trained from the beginning to speak up and they will be judged on how much they speak. Dr. Tina also feels that the planning of time tends to be different. In Europe, they are given a task, then slowly begin to prepare, organize, and plan well for what they want to do. But at Ubaya, she feels that many people are quite intense in doing their job. So from there, Dr. Tina eventually adapts to these differences and learns to think openly. What I find interesting about Dr. Tina is that even though she comes from a large country, namely Germany, and when she comes to another country, being a minority there, she doesn't feel that her culture is the most correct. She wants to learn to respect other cultures. She wants to see things from another perspective and not just other people. The thing that made Dr. Tina explore the culture in other countries is a sense of desire and curiosity within her. She felt freedom when she was abroad. You know, when people are in a country like Germany, there are rules about how one should behave. But when you go abroad, there you feel given the freedom as a foreigner to act differently even though you know how you should behave in that country. Of course, people will think like, oh, okay, yeah, they will accept your actions because you are not from that country. Dr. Tina also shared her struggles when going abroad. She felt frustrated when she had to find the nearest supermarket to find groceries, and she felt confused when looking for transportation to go from one place to another. I think this will also happen to me if I go abroad, especially if I'm alone. It feels like you have to get out of your comfort zone and you will miss home. Dr. Tina also tells us that when she went abroad to Indonesia, she was able to broaden her horizons and saw different perspectives, such as how people think about Europe. She also said that when we go abroad, we need to understand the situation in that country, especially in a job and organization that has its own culture. We can understand it by observing and asking questions, and we don't have to imitate something because people already know you come from somewhere else. It's okay if we don't understand 100% about foreign cultures. We can tell to others that it was my first time in Europe. So people wouldn't assume that we know everything about the culture of their countries. That's why we also need to ask questions to people who are patient enough to help us to understand more deeply about the culture in that country. The thing that adds new knowledge to me from Dr. Tina is that several universities in Europe have faculties available in various places, not only on the same campus. In Switzerland and the Netherlands, the accommodation is less organized. This is quite different from the UK, which has good accommodations on campus. So in Europe, independence is really needed because we have to find our own accommodations. Dr. Dina also said that, in her opinion, among the various countries where she studied there, the Netherlands had the best quality, both in terms of teaching and price. In terms of teaching, for example, in class, there is always interactions between lecturers and their students. At the end, Dr. Dina also suggests that when we want to study abroad, we must know our study goals and what we want. For example, if we want to study more about Chinese language, we can go to China. There are many considerations that we can make to choose a university in another country. For example, the weather, university rankings, quality of professor in the subject we want, and so on. Dr. Dina also advises us that now is a time to explore new things. Take time to challenge yourself, look for new things, for example by joining a student exchange. By participating in student exchange, we can learn the culture of other countries, learn to be more independent, learn to manage ourselves well. Apart from that, on campus, we also learn to be able to work well together in a team and prepare ourselves for the work life. Okay, that's all a resume about what Dr. Dina talked about. Thank you for your listening. Goodbye.